Jayo Yashodanandana Jayo Braj Janaranjana Jayo Braj Janaranjana Jayo Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradari Jayo Girivaradari Jayo Yashodanandana Jayo Braj Janaranjana Jayo Braj Janaranjana Jayo Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र शश्यमत भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र शश्यमत भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। जमुना मैया की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। ताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assemble devotees, all glories to assemble devotees, all glories to assemble devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, Text 1. Narada Uvacha Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Yadvijanihi Yadjnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narada Uvacha Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tadvijanihi Yadjnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Narada Uvacha Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tadvijanihi Yadjnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Matajis. Narada Uvacha. Sri Narad said, Deva of all demigods, Deva the demigod, Namaha obeisances, Te unto you as, Hastu are, Bhuta Bhavan the generator of all living beings, Purvaja the firstborn, Tat Vijanihi please explain that knowledge. Yat Jnanam, which knowledge? Atma Tattva, transcendental. Nidarshanam, specifically directs. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Sri Narad Muni asked Brahmaji, O chief amongst the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge, which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul. Purport. The perfection of the Parampara system, or the path of disciplic succession, is further confirmed. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Brahmaji, the firstborn living entity, received knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord, and the same knowledge was imparted to Narada, the next disciple. Narada asked to receive the knowledge, and Brahmaji imparted it upon being asked. Therefore, asking for transcendental knowledge from the right person and receiving it properly is the regulation of the disciplic succession. This process is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4.2. The inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master to receive transcendental knowledge by surrender, submissive inquiries, and service. Knowledge received by submissive inquiries and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange for money. A spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from Brahma and Narada has no demand for dollars and cents. A bona fide student has to satisfy him by sincere service to obtain knowledge of the relation and the nature of the individual soul and the supersoul. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Shatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So seeking blessings from all the devotees so that I can speak something for my own purification. So we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, Text 1. And this is the beginning of Narad Brahma Samvad. So in the 4th chapter, 5 to 10 verses, Parikshit Maharaj asked few questions to Shukdev Goswami. He says, Samichinam vacho brahman sarvagyasya tavanagha tamo vishiryate mahyam kathayasya hare kathayatah katham. He says, your katha is dispelling my ignorance. Please speak more. And you said that I should hear, remember and chant the names of the Lord. First, I would like to ask about the Lord's pastimes of creation by his Maya Shakti. And later, I will ask about the Leela Shakti, Chit Shakti. So he says, you know everything. I beg to know from you about the creation of this universe. How this phenomenal universe is created by the Supreme Lord. Please explain the primary creation and secondary creation, Sarga and Visarga. And Lord's pastimes are inconceivable. Please tell me how Shirodakshay Vishnu, how Karanodakshay Vishnu creates this universe. So all these questions were asked by Parikshit Maharaj. And in response to these questions, now Shukdev Goswami, first he offered Mangalacharan, and then he is beginning to answer the questions. And he says, I'll answer your question, the last verse of the previous chapter. He says, I'll answer your question by quoting the Brahma Narada Samvad. And in this purport and in the previous verse also, the last verse, the importance of disciplic succession was mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. So we have heard that and we know that we have our disciplic succession, which we see in Bhagavad Gita, the last page of the introduction, the entire disciplic succession from Supreme Lord Krishna up to Srila Prabhupada, it is given. So where is this mentioned, this parampara which we hear, which we speak many times about? So this parampara of Madhva Sampradaya, Madhva lineage, is described in various books like Gaur Desh Deepika and Prameya Ratnavali of Gopal Guru Goswami. In that he writes all these verses, 4 verses, 49 to 62, so many verses. They are describing all the names of various disciples, starting from Krishna up to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and further. So therefore, this parampara is the most important aspect of Krishna consciousness, the knowledge. Evam parampara praptam. And in the 12th canto, 7th chapter, it is mentioned that the description of Bhagavatam began by explaining about the parampara. And in the end also, Sudha Goswami, he mentions the 18 Puranas, and he finishes his account by stating that any person who hears about these matters from someone in a proper disciplic succession will acquire spiritual potency. So if somebody does not receive the knowledge in proper disciplic succession, then there are chances that they'll get deviated. And sometimes people ask, can I see the original Vedas? Original wala hai kya aapke paas? So many times people, they come and ask, I want to read the original one. So which is more important, seeing the original one or practicing the knowledge which is given in the original one? And of course, it is not possible to store the original Vedas which were written 5,000 years back on palm leaves. But the content is very carefully passed down in disciplic succession. And how do we know that we are accessing the original Vedas? Because people, they have this doubt sometimes that what if the knowledge is contaminated in between? What is the proof? So simple understanding is, if we apply the equations given by Einstein and Newton and we get the result as they got, that means we are having the original theory. Similarly, when we practice the principle given in the Vedas and we get the result, same result of love of God, that means the recipe, the theory is right. So therefore, all these Vedas, they are compared to a tree, a huge tree. And it is not possible to find out what is the main thing which this tree is giving. So the teachers, and the famous example is given of the jackfruit tree. How the Vedas are like jackfruit tree. And to get the actual essence of the jackfruit tree is not easy. The jackfruit, a person has to be expert. Otherwise, he may land up, creating a mess and then telling that, oh, this jackfruit is useless fruit. It doesn't taste good. So all the parampara teachers, they are the experts who know the art of bringing out the essence of this, the tree of Upanishads and the Vedas. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. So galitam phalam, Chakravarti Thakur writes, it is the Raganuga Bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti is also mentioned in the scriptures. Galitam phalam. And the galitam, he says, it means that it falls down of its own accord. When the mango is ripened, sufficiently ripened, it falls down of its own accord. So the natural question is, if a mango falls down, then it may break and then it may get contaminated also. No. He says, even after falling from a high position, it does not break, does not lose its sweetness, because it is carefully handed down in disciplic succession, parampara. So, Chakravarti Thakur writes, what is implied here is that without Guru Parampara, one cannot drink Bhagavatam in its unbroken form. Just by trying to taste it through use of one's limited intelligence. If somebody thinks, I will understand on my own, I'll buy Bhagavatam, I'll buy Bhagavad Gita. Now we are distributing Bhagavad Gita. This marathon month is going on. We are distributing everywhere to everyone. So that is the responsibility of every devotee in ISKCON. That is our family business, to distribute Bhagavad Gita. But then the next step which we have to do in rest 11 months is to teach Bhagavad Gita and to practice Bhagavad Gita. Because the more we practice Bhagavad Gita and preach Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita, to that conviction we can distribute Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, if we are distributing Bhagavad Gita and people ask, what is there in this Bhagavad Gita? I don't know, you read and find out. So then who will get the impetus to read it? So Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he remembers that one time, just few days before Srila Prabhupada left this world, two gentlemen, very prominent businessmen, they came to meet Prabhupada. And one was Srimad Narayan, he was governor of Madras, and other was his brother-in-law, Ram Krishna Bajaj, a big industrialist. So both came and they wanted to discuss something with Prabhupada, and they wanted to discuss it privately. So Srila Prabhupada asked all the other disciples, all the devotees to leave the room. So, but Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he thought he was there. So while leaving, he pressed the recording button on the recorder and they all left. And then the recording was going on. So these two men, they asked Prabhupada, who will continue your legacy after you leave the planet? Who will become your successor? So who will own this property? Who will become the next guru? Prabhupada said, I am giving the legacy to all my disciples, all my followers, and whoever follows will have the legacy. So that is what Srila Prabhupada is giving us. So he is giving the legacy to not one or two, he is giving to everyone. That is the parampara. Evam parampara praptam. And Srila Prabhupada would emphasize a lot to read his books. So if we don't read the book, then the knowledge will be lost. Because so far, parampara is glorious. Coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, then Baladev Vidyabhushan, and before that Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, Shyamanand Pandit, then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, our current Acharyas. So far parampara is glorious. Next, it comes to all of us. It is our responsibility to keep it glorious. So for that, we have to read it and apply it in our lives. One of the Prabhupada disciples, Bhargav Prabhu, he recalls that he was asking many questions to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, he became angry. He said, what do you think? I am a question answer machine? Someone who will answer all day long? You read my books. You are not reading my books, that's why you are asking all simple questions. So we have to read the books. So therefore, this parampara is very, very important, and whatever we have received in parampara, it is a genuine knowledge. And that's what Bhagavatam describes. The 12th canto of Bhagavatam also says, whenever somebody is speaking in parampara, it is Krishna who is speaking himself. As Srila Prabhupada would always say many times, he would say, I am not writing this book. Every morning when I sit here to write books, Krishna comes personally and dictates to me what to write. I am just taking dictation. So Krishna is speaking. Kasmai yena vibhashitoyam atulo jnana pradipa pura tadarupena chanaradaya munaya krishnaya tadarupena yogindraya tadatmanat bhagavadrataya karunyata Tashuddham vimalam vishokam amritam satyam param dhimahi. Kasmai yena, kaha means Brahma. When Brahma is speaking to Narad Muni, who is speaking? Krishna. When Narad Muni is speaking to Vyasa, who is speaking? Krishna is speaking. When Vyasa is speaking to Shukadeva Goswami, Krishna is speaking. When Shukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parikshit, Krishna is speaking. So this knowledge is Shuddha, Shuddham, Vimalam, Vishokam, Amritam. So when we apply it in our lives, then we will also experience these symptoms. We'll become purified, will become free from miseries. And Srila Prabhupada writes a very important line, and we'll be speaking more on that. The inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master to receive transcendental knowledge by surrender, submissive inquiries, and service. The famous verse Prabhupada is paraphrasing here. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So this humility, humbleness, inquisitiveness, and service-mindedness. So these three things are important to receive His grace, the grace of Krishna, grace of spiritual master. And what is humbleness? Humility means to admit that I don't know. So when we admit I don't know, then we are ready to receive knowledge. If somebody thinks that I know, but I have come just to test you what all you are saying, then we are not in a right frame of mind. So Radha Gopinath Prabhu, I was hearing one of the class and he was sharing wonderful knowledge. He said, where there is knowledge, there is so much information in this world, but where is the knowledge in information? And where is the wisdom in the knowledge? So that is lacking. Information is there in this world. Whatever universities are teaching, they are teaching information, giving information. But where is knowledge in that information? That is missing. And where is the wisdom in information? Wisdom in the knowledge. So that is what is missing in the modern knowledge which we are receiving in the universities. So therefore, in the spiritual knowledge, we have to first be respectful, be humble. And Prabhuji said, when there is respect, there is attention. And when there is attention, there is retention. Yeah. So it all begins with becoming humble and respecting the person from whom we are hearing. And when we respect, then we are attentive to whatever that person is saying. And Prabhuji continued, he said, when there is humility, we get information. And when there is inquisitiveness, we extract knowledge from that information. And when there is service, then that knowledge becomes wisdom. So that is the sequence in which we receive the wisdom. By humility, information. By inquisitiveness, knowledge. By service and practice, wisdom. So that is how it begins. Keami kene amara jare tapatre. Why I am suffering? Who am I? So that is humility. I don't know. And inquisitiveness means to become humble enough and ask. So that is the understanding. And it should not be a blind faith. It should be a reasonable faith we are putting in the Guru Parampara, so that we can see things as they are. We get Shastra Chakshu. I read a wonderful statement. It was written, real eyes realize real lies. So real eyes, when we get real Shastra Chakshu, then we realize the real lies the world is speaking to us. All the industries, advertisement, they are giving us, teaching us all the real lies. But this is very, very difficult to decode because it looks so very real. Kutra shisha shruti sukha mrigatrishni rupa kvedam kalevaram ashesha rujam viroha nirvidyate natu jano yadapiti vidvan Kamanalam madhulavai shamayandurapai. As Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Kutra Shisha, where is auspiciousness in this world? Shruti Sukha, it is all Shruti Sukh. Sunne mein acha lagta hai. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, it is attractive. Shruti Sukh. Mrig Trishni Rupa, it is all like mirage in the desert. And all the pleasures of the world, they are promising, but what they give is pain in the end. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate. Kamanalam madhulavai. So the unlimited desires a living entity has, and he tries to enjoy in this world, but the happiness is only coming in drops. It is like a desert, and a drop is only coming. Tatala saikete vari bindu sama sutmita ramani samaje. Narottam Das Thakur writes. Tatala saikete, it is like a hot burning desert. And vari bindusam, only a drop of water is coming. What will happen? How will it satisfy? So all the Suttamita Ramani Samaje, all the pleasures which we get in association of our family, our children, our relatives, that is like drop in the desert. So therefore, when we come in touch with spiritual knowledge, then we start seeing things as they are. And we start going beyond the surface. Because the world doesn't allow us to go beyond the surface. Just stick to the surface. Don't scratch and don't go deep. And that is how Maya Devi also keeps us, nice asleep on her lap. And when the devotees come, Supreme Lord comes, Mahaprabhu comes, Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. So they are waking us up. So this humility, it is a launching pad for getting the knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And just like going to doctor is not sufficient. If somebody is sick and he goes to doctor and gets the prescription, okay, aaj doctor ke paas jaake aa gaye. Good. No, we have to take the prescription also, take the medicine. What is the medicine? Service. That is sevaya. So when we apply the knowledge in service-mindedness, in the mood of serving, we are applying. That is sevaya. And that service gives realization. Yat sevaya bhagavataha kutasthasya madhudvishaha ratiraso bhave tivra padayor vyasanardanaha. Yat sevaya bhagavataha. Vidurji is telling Maitreya Muni, you have given me so much wonderful, such wonderful knowledge, but all this knowledge will become realization only when I start serving you. Yat sevaya, when we serve the great devotees of the Lord, then all the knowledge becomes realization. So the grace of the Lord comes in 3 progressive steps. Humbleness shows us the humbleness enables the Guru to show the way. If we are not humble, nobody will give knowledge. So when we are humble, it enables the Guru to show us the way. And when we are inquisitive, then it enables us to start seeing the way ourselves. That means we start internalizing when we are inquisitive. And when we serve, then we start moving along the way. This is, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu writes in one of his articles, very beautiful. So that's how we are getting benefited in this parampara. So parampara, it is not just a link of heads. That means it is not just giving knowledge. It is a link of hearts also. And what is the meaning of link of hearts? That means we not just get knowledge, we get devotional sentiments also. So when we are sharing this knowledge, it is not just about sharing information or whatever philosophy we have heard. Srila Prabhupada has shown by his personal example. And all the disciples of Prabhupada, they give a testimony to this, that Srila Prabhupada, he spoke wonderfully. Everybody would like to hear to him speaking. But the way Prabhupada dealt with them with such love, with such care, that's what, you know, kept them in the process of Krishna consciousness amongst all the ups and downs. So that's how when we start caring for the devotees, that's what sustains the devotees. It is not just giving knowledge. Preaching is not just giving knowledge. Preaching is caring for the devotees. So that is the importance of parampara. We are not just giving knowledge, we are connecting to the people and giving them knowledge also and caring for them also. So that's how parampara is very important. Some people say, I don't need guru because I don't want anyone to come between me and God. Actually, guru doesn't come between us and God. He removes what is between us and God. The wall of our misconceptions, the wall of our doubts, wall of our misconceived desires. So that is what guru does. That is what spiritual master and the teachers they do. The misconception that I am the enjoyer. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balwan sukhi. Nitya baddha Krishna hoite nitya bahir mukh. Nitya samasar bhunje naro kadi dukh. Sei doshe maya pishachi dand kore tare. Adhyatmikadi tapatraye tare jari mare. Nitya baddha, we have turned our face away from Krishna, and Nitya baddha Krishna hoite Nitya bahir mukh, and that's why we are suffering. Nitya samasar bhunje narakadi dukh. Sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. And because of that misconception of enjoyment, say doshe maya pishachi dandakare. That's why we are punished by adhyatmika, adhidaivika, adhibhautika. काम क्रोधेर दास हैया तारला तीखाय भ्रमिते भ्रमिते यदि साधु वैद्य पाए. And we are beaten royally by Maya Devi. And Brahmite Brahmite, somehow by some inconceivable fortune, Sadhu Vaidyapai, we get devotee physician. Taro Upadesha Mantre Pishachi Palaye, Krishna Bhakti Paye Tabe Krishna Nikate Aaye. And the devotee gives the mantra. Just like in previous times, people knew the art of removing the poison of the snake by chanting mantras. The poison of enjoying mentality, I am the controller, that will be removed by Upadesha mantra when we hear the Upadesh given by the devotees. So that is the role of a spiritual master. Chaitanya Charanprabhu writes that who is his own guru has a fool as his disciple. That is the typical way Chaitanya Charanprabhu speaks sometimes. He who is his own guru, matlab, I am my own guru. That means he has a fool as his disciple. That means he is a fool. So therefore, that is the glory of Guru Parampara. Guru, all the spiritual masters, they remove the misconceptions which we have. And that's why Krishna wants to glorify his devotees. There's a beautiful verse in 4th canto, Rudra Gita, where Lord Shiva is describing Snigdha Pravirada Ghanashyamam Sarva Saundarya Sangraham Charuvayat Chaturbahu Sujata Ruchirananam. Snigdha Pravirada Ghanashyamam, the beautiful form of the Lord is described, blackish complexion, 4 hands, holding Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. And the very particular line used is Sarva Saundarya Sangraham. He is abode of beauty. Lord is very beautiful. But Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, it is not just about his physical beauty, the bodily beauty. It is about the beauty of his character also. There's a beautiful Shubhashit which says, Narasya bharanam rupam, rupasya bharanam gunah, gunasya bharanam jnanam, jnanasya bharanam shama. Narasya abharanam. The ornament of a human being is his beauty. If a person is beautiful, he is attractive. Narasya abharanam rupam. But rupasya abharanam guna. The ornament of a beauty is wonderful qualities. So Krishna, he is bodily beautiful, very beautiful. His body is beautiful. But a person becomes more attractive by his beautiful qualities. And Krishna is expert in having all the beautiful qualities also. And Srila Prabhupada writes in that purport, the best part of Krishna's beauty is he likes to give credit to his devotees. He wants to make his devotees glorious, famous. And it is very prominently seen in all the pastimes. And Krishna himself tells in Bhagavad Gita, whoever teaches this message, he is very, very dear to me. He gives all the credit to the teachers and preachers of Krishna consciousness. And of course, preaching is not only speaking, as it is said by a famous saint, you should preach all day, but sometimes you should speak also. So it is not just about speaking, it is what we do, rest throughout the day when we are not speaking. How are we behaving? So all the spiritual masters, all the devotees, because they are working on behalf of the Lord, Krishna wants to give them all the credit. Krishna gave the credit of winning the war of Kurukshetra to Bhima and Arjun. He could have killed all the Kauravas, he killed so many powerful demons, but he gave the credit of killing most famous demons to Bhima and Arjun. Very few people know Vatsasur, Pralambasur and Bakasur, all the demons Krishna killed in Vrindavan. Everyone knows Duryodhan, everyone knows Kauravas, everyone knows Jarasandh. But Krishna gave the credit to Bhima and Arjun. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted Prithivete Achayata Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Moranam. He reserved the credit for Srila Prabhupada. Mahaprabhu, he gave all the teachings to Rup Sanatan Goswami. He taught Rup Goswami for 10 days. He taught Sanatan Goswami for 2 months. But he himself wrote only 8 verses. He wanted to give all the credit to Rupa Sanatan Goswami. And in Ramananda Samvad, we hear Ramananda Rai speaking such wonderful, such high levels of realized knowledge, and that knowledge which is the epitome of all the bhakti conclusions. He is giving all the credit to Ramananda Rai to speak all this knowledge. Kaviraj Goswami writes a beautiful glorification in that chapter. Sanchare Rama Bhidabhakta Meghe Swabhakti Siddhanta Chayamritani Gaurabdhirete Ramuna Vitirnai Tadgyatvaratna Layatam Prayati. He says, Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the ocean of conclusive knowledge of devotion, what he did? Sancharya. He empowered Ramabhid. He empowered Ramananda Rai, and Ramananda Rai is compared to a cloud of devotional service. Bhakti Meghe. And what is he doing? From where the cloud takes water from? Cloud takes water from the ocean. Swabhakti Siddhanta Chayamritani. Who is the ocean? Supreme Lord Sri Mahaprabhu is himself the ocean. And this cloud of Ramananda Rai is taking the water from this ocean. Gaurabdhirete Ramuna Vitirnai. And this ocean is empowering the cloud. And when the cloud showers, then the ocean becomes filled with jewels. So Ramananda Rai is showering the jewels of devotional service in the ocean of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu, he himself came to experience and relish. So what is that verse where he says, we chant, Karunaya avatirna kalau samarpayitum unnat ujjwal rasam subhakti shriyam anarpita charim chirat karunaya avatirna. That which was not offered so far, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to give himself, but he is telling, he is empowering all the devotees to do it. So that is how Supreme Lord is so very glorious. He is never insecure. Oh, they will become glorious. Who will praise me? No. Rai kahe iha mi kichhui na jani, tumi ei kahao se kahe ei vani. Ramanand Rai says, I don't know anything. Whatever you are making me speak, I am speaking. Tomar शिक्षाए पड़ी ये न शुक पाठ साक्षात ईश्वर तुम्ही के बुझे tomar नाट. I am just a parrot. Who can understand how you are working, how you are behaving? हृदय प्रेरणा कर जिह्वाए कराओ वाणी की कहिए भाल मंद की छुई न जानी. You are making me speak, and I am speaking. I am like a parrot. I am like a puppet in your hand. So I am speaking. So that is how Supreme Lord, He is giving credit to all His devotees, all the teachers who are explaining this message of Krishna consciousness. Supreme Lord is giving all the credit to them. He gave credit to Haridas Thakur and made him Namacharya. In one verse it is said, Lord is Bhaktana Manavardhana. Lord increases the glory of His devotees. Bhaktana Manavardhana. So that is how Supreme Lord, He is glorifying all the devotees and prominently the teachers, the spiritual masters. In one purport, Prabhupada writes, the spiritual master is Sevak Bhagavan and Krishna is called Sevya Bhagavan. So Sevak, servitor God, and served. So that's how Supreme Lord, He is glorifying His devotee. And it is said that spiritual master comes back to deliver his disciples. One devotee asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, is it true that spiritual master has to come back to deliver the disciple? If disciple doesn't go back still? Prabhupada said, yes, but don't take advantage of it. I will keep on enjoying. Let spiritual master come and deliver me. So all these saintly personalities, they are working so very hard. And Krishna is also working very hard to deliver living entities. Namo namaste khilakaranaya nishkaranaya adbhutakaranaya sarvagamamnaya maharnavaya namo pavargaya parayanaya. Gajendra is offering prayers. So in this he prays Sarva Agama Amnaya. He is a source of parampara system. Sarva Agam Amnaya. Prabhupada writes, he is a source of parampara system of all the Vedic knowledge. So Krishna is so very merciful and compassionate. He is working overtime to deliver living entities, deliver all of us. A devotee may be thinking, I am working very hard, chanting, serving, but Krishna is working more than us, inspiring us from within so that we can become more and more sincere. And He is doing such tapasya. And one of the verse, Lord is telling to Brahmaji, Srijami tapasai vedam, Srijami tapasa punaha, Vibharmi tapasa vedam, Vishwam viryam me dushcharan tapaha. This is very beautiful verse. Lord is saying, Srijami, I am creating by tapasya. Why Lord has to do tapasya? Srijami tapasai vedam. And grasami tapasa punaha. By tapasya I am destroying. By tapasya I am maintaining. Viryam me dushcharan tapaha. My power arises from intense austerity. What type of tapasya Lord is doing? So because Lord doesn't have to do any tapasya. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, I am always performer of austerity since I renounce material enjoyment. So the austerity of the Lord is detachment. So one of the class I was hearing, Balram Shakti Prabhu's class, he was explaining this verse. So he was telling that, so to be detached from your creation is a big tapasya. If somebody is creating a big empire and he's told that, okay, next day you have to destroy it also. It is very difficult. Only way one can do it is when one is detached from the creation which He has done. So Lord is making all these universes not in a shabby way. It is perfect. We know the famous story. One person, he served somebody his whole life, and as he was retiring, his boss said, he was a carpenter. His boss said, I want you to make a last building for me, last house for me. So he thought, anyways, I am retiring. So he made, not nicely, perfectly. And then when that house was done, the Lord said, that person said, this is my gift to you for your lifetime of service. He thought, agar mujhe pata hota to main अच्छे से बनाता, So if somebody knows that anyways I am not getting it, I'll not make it nicely. But Lord knows that this universe is going to be destroyed, and jinke liye bana raha hu, they will also not listen to me. Still he does it nicely. So Lord feels sad, but he's not discouraged. Sakarna dushashana saubalanam kumantra pakena hatashriayushah Suyodhanam sanucharam shayanam bhagnoru urvyam nananand pashyan. Lord is not a sadistic person. He feels sad when he sees that these people are not listening whatever I am telling. Sakarna dushashana saubalanam. When Krishna saw Duryodhana is lying on the battlefield along with Karna, Shakuni and all the other warriors. Kumantra pakena, because he was ill-advised. A very nice word is used, Suyodhanam, a respectable address given to Duryodhan. Suyodhanam. And it is said, Na nanand pashyan. Lord was not happy. So Lord, he never interferes in the free will of anyone, but he keeps sending his devotees, he keeps coming himself, he keeps sending scriptures, so that one day living entities will turn towards him. So that is all possible by tapasya of detachment. And I was just asking one small boy, if some of your friend, you are helping him and he is not listening to me, कितने बार उसको help करोगे? He said only once. नहीं सुन रहा है, so why will I help him again? But Krishna is working and helping us since time immemorial again and again. That is a tapasya he is doing. And that is a tapasya all the devotees of the Lord, all the Guru Parampara is doing. The famous story of Narad Muni, he delivers the 11,000 sons, he makes them brahmacharis, Daksha's sons. And then he goes back to Daksha. And natural question is, why he went? He knew Daksha will be very angry. If one son becomes a renunciant, we know the situation of the parents. 11,000 sons are becoming brahmacharis, and he is making, and he is going back to Daksha. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, why he met Daksha? So Narad was thinking, this dynasty, entire dynasty of Swayambhu Manu, starting from Priyavrat, Uttanpad, Dhruva, Prachina Barhi, Prachetas, Haryashvas, Shavalashvas, sabka uddhar maine kiya hai. And bichara this Daksha, he is still caught in material entanglement. Let me deliver him also. So although he knew that Daksha will really become angry on me, he will curse me, he will criticize me, I am ready to tolerate everything just so that I can give him mercy. So that is the glory of our parampara. They are ready to go through all the problems. They are ready to go through all the pains. Kaviraj Goswami is writing such wonderful literature at his ripe old age. And it is very wonderfully described in the Madhya Leela in the beginning. Ei Antya Leela Sar Sutra Madhya Visatar Kari Kichu Kari Luve Varan Iha Madhya Marijabe Varni Tena Pari Tabe Ei Leela Bhakta Ganadhan. He is writing the entire Antya Leela in brief in the beginning of the Madhya. Why? Iha Madhya Marijabe, if I die in between, how will devotees relish? Ei Leela Bhakta Ganadhan. This Leela is a treasure for devotees. And then he says, if I live, I will describe in detail. Sangshepe Sutre Koila Ei Iha Nalikhila Age Taha Kori Bhavistar Yadi Tata Din Jiye Mahaprabhur Kripa Hoy Ichha Bhari Kori Bhavistar. If I live, I will describe in detail. So that is how all the parampara, all the way up to Prabhupada, they have really struggled a lot to give us this process of Krishna consciousness. So as our part as disciples, we can show our part by being grateful. We can never repay. We can show our gratitude by following and distributing to whoever we can. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
भगवान एक कैसे तपस्या करेंगे वो बनाते हैं
तपस्या डिटैचमेंट इज तपस्या मतलब डिटैचमेंट बनाना फिर तोड़ना उसके लिए डिटैचमेंट लगता है दैट डिटैचमेंट इज तपस्या